Antonio Banderas wants Tom Holland to be the next Zorro. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, Antonio. Hay un baboso de mi corazón. Ay. Welcome back to the Latino Slant, your resource for Latino entertainment, music, movies, and culture. This is the place. Whether you agree or disagree, this is the place for you to air your thoughts, your comments on all things Latino coming out of Hollywood and pop culture. So, yeah. Before I get into this video, let me also say you can directly support this channel through PayPal. Donate any amount you'd like if you want to bypass YouTube altogether. You know, they take a cut, a really big cut. So you're helping me out if you go directly to PayPal. Links in the video box description. In this video, my man, mi hombre, mi hermano, a man who I've looked up to for many, many decades as an actor, performer, singer, dancer, even before he started his career in Hollywood. I loved him in the Almodovar films in Spain. Antonio Banderas recently was doing the rounds for Puss in Boots press junket, and he said they asked him, I guess, who would you like to see to be the next Zorro? And he replied, Tom Holland. He's got that something. He's got that spark. I could see myself, like Anthony Hopkins, who played Don Diego de la Vega, passed the torch or the rapia to Zorro, to Banderas would pass it down to Tom Holland. Okay, this really made a lot of news, which was, there was a two-part. I mean, it was in everywhere. Variety, all that good stuff. The second part was that Banderas claimed that he was propositioned by Quentin Tarantino a few years back to do a crazy crossover of Django Unchained meets Zorro. I would pay to see that. That would be amazing. Okay, so there has been a backlash, if you will, some talk back in regards to Banderas's almost, I would say, very, shall I use it? Tone deaf comments. Okay. Let's back up. Let's use his iteration of Zorro. Okay, Don Diego de la Vega, who is the kind of the Bruce Wayne, if you will, who becomes at night the masked one, Zorro. He's a Spanish nobleman of the 19th century. Is the main protagonist in the Zorro series. He's a young scholar whose alter ego is El Zorro. Upon returning home, he found that Los Angeles was being ruled by a tyrant, usually the alcalde, the mayor. In some stories, it is an evil comandante of the Spanish army, and even still in other stories, the governor of California. Now, so now that we got that, in Don Diego de la Vega was first written by McMurtry. Sorry about the last name. 1919 in The Curse of Capistrano. This character, Zorro, Don Diego de la Vega, has always been a Californio, right? Even though he's a Spanish nobleman, he's not Spain Spanish, if you know what I mean. In what I'm saying is that his family probably at some point came from Spain and was awarded by the Spanish government this land, this hacienda, which was the groundwork for Zorro, because Don Diego was very sympathetic to the poor indigenous people in that town, in the town of Los Angeles, to where he put on the mask and fought for them. So we could say he is at the very least, a first generation Spanish Californio. which is different than being, you know, a Spaniard. I don't know if that makes sense to you. It does to me. Okay, just go with me. Now, in this iteration of Zorro, in those two movies, Anthony Hopkins, who is not Spanish, he's English. He plays Don Diego de la Vega. Crazy, I know. He's still Anthony Hopkins. He passes the torch to Antonio Banderas, who is not a Spanish nobleman, who is not an indigenous, poor working person in the pueblo. He is a brother of Joaquin Murrieta, Alejandro Murrieta. These guys were Mexicans, Mexicans who came to mine for gold, who came from Mexico. Their stories have been embellished, but they were ridiculed, persecuted, and some very awful things happened to Murrieta and their family members. They in turn became bandits. So that is Murrieta. So Banderas. So this Zorro, Banderas Zorro, is a Murrieta, right? A Mexican. So if he's saying he's going to hand it down to Tom Holland, is Tom Holland going to play his son, who was a little baby in the Mask of Zorro or the Legend of Zorro? Excuse me. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, especially in this day and age in Hollywood, where we're starving. We're starving for great leading roles for Latino actors to portray that Tom Holland would in this day and age play Zorro. Okay. Here's the thing also with Zorro. For 100 years, it has rarely been played by a Latino. If we count Banderas as a Latino, which some people have problems with because no, he's Hispanic, he's Spanish, even he doesn't count, right? Now, for this rest of this video, here's what I want to do. And I know I'm a little perturbed, by this remark, because I feel Banderas has been around the Mexican American and the Latino community now here in the States with all these productions for decades, that he should be a little more sympathetic and aware that there should be a Latino that should be playing this Zorro. And I'm going to make a statement in a second. Before I do, I'm going to do two things, right? We're going to hit Twitter, where I put up a tweet, and we got some great responses. I want to really quickly though just give you a quick overview of Banderas's career and the times he's played a Mexicano or a U.S. Latino Mexican. Let's just go with that, okay? We're not going to go with Puss in Boots. We're not going to go with the characters he's played in Chile. He's played a Cuban. You could justify those. Listen, he's a great actor. I'm not taking that away from him. But let's just go with that. The Mariachi trilogy, Desperado. Okay, we'll go with El Mariachi, Desperado, Once Upon a Time in America. This character is a Mexican, played by Banderas. That broke him out. That broke him through. Okay, First Massacre. So that's 3 films. 2 films now with Zorro, Mexican, Murrieta. 5 films now. Pancho Villa. I reviewed that movie here on the channel. I love that movie, and I loved his performance. I honestly think he was fantastic in it. That is six now, 6 films, 3 different characters where he's playing a Mexican. It's like right there. Identified. Branded. Cool. All right, let me give you one more where there's 4 films now with that character, Spy Kids. The Cortez family is a Latino family that is in the U.S. They're American and Latino, and it is we're gonna take it. I'm gonna count it because Raul Rodriguez models it after his own family, Tejanos. There you go. There you go. We're talking now. At least a dozen films, 4 different characters that are U.S., Mexican, Latin, Mexicano. What is your point, Paul? My point is think of all those roles that could have gone to Mexican actors, Mexican American actors, where you can create stars during the last 30 years. Banderas has had them, right? It is what it is. Now, I bring this up because I feel that Hollywood has evolved a little bit, just a little bit, to where they're going to cast a role to an actor that's connected to that character a little better now, right? We've come a long way, and like I said, even though I love Banderas, even though I love Javier Bardem, that time is over where Spaniards are playing a Mexican or a U.S. Latino specific character, and we bring up those actors now. I'm going to bring up this tweet. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I do believe at the end of the day, it should be the best actor, right? I really do. However, here is my catch 22. How can it truly be the best actor when you don't even consider all the actors? Consider actors in your own backyard. Consider casting people who are, American that happen to be Latino. Then you can say we looked at everywhere we cast the best actor. That's my catch 22. Because what happens is that they'll miscast and then they'll race swap and give you a very poor souveniristic representation that falls flat. Right? And people get excited about it. I know I'm going to hear it right now, but I'm going to say it again. That's the case with Namor. I love Tenoch Huerta, but at the end of the day, as we move away from the fervor and the emotions, it was a flat representation. It fell way short. Half measures avail us nothing. So we go to Zorro, where we're like, finally, let's cast a Latino in this role. But tone deaf Tony B says otherwise. Okay, so now let's go to this part. I put it up. I said, Tony B, Antonio Banderas. I love you, but you've been grifting off of Mexicans, Mexicanos, Latino roles in Hollywood for far too long. Have some paella and shut the fuck up. Tom Holland as Zorro, pendejo. And you all had some interesting things to say. Some interesting things to say. So let's go to this. One that I really really liked, and I want to give you two examples, great examples of actors that could portray uh, Zorro right now. T-shirt historian says, I would like to see J.D. Prado as Zorro, with Edward James Olmos as his mentor, if they chose to do another Mark of Zorro movie. Hollywood has an entire Latino talent list to choose from. Mine's MC. Make it happen, cabrones. And here's J.D. Prado. Abso-effing-lutely. Look at that face, man. Look at that face. That is Don Diego. That is also the Murrieta iteration of Zorro. Imagine that handsome face as Zorro. And this is a U.S. Latino actor. And I'm gonna make my statement. It's gonna sound very nationalistic. I'm gonna make it right now. I'm gonna make it right after this next example. And I think that's fantastic. Great job, T-shirted historian. We had some other ones which were funny, people sharing. Thank you. Now I want to go to actor Danny Ramirez. He is one of the breakout stars from Top Gun Maverick, Captain America: New World Order. He's going to be playing the new Falcon, I believe. Where he just says, and let's see if we can get him a look right there. You guys remember him? He was Fanboy. in Top Gun Maverick. He's a hot commodity again, a U.S. Latino actor. He just said, Antonio Banderas, let's talk. I love that. I love that. Right? And everyone's replying, that now we're talking, right? Now we're talking. Okay. I'm gonna put in the link, the story of Banderas acting on saying those things, variety and video description box. I'll put my Twitter in there as well. Here is my final statement. And I'm so happy that Danny Ramirez, JD Prado are in this discussion, because this is this has been my main problem with Hollywood for decades, is that they have always gone to the foreign, spicy, swarthy types, which can be very stereotypical for their Latino portrayals for decades, and not even getting it right. It boggles my mind that for decades we have not fostered the U.S. Latino actor as a male lead. Very rare. And now, here's a chance to make it happen. JD Prado, Danny Ramirez, these gentlemen should have happened decades ago. They should have been fostered decades ago. And here's my statement. I don't want okay, let me take a breath. I only want US Latino actors to play US Latino roles. That's it. And I don't care if I'm pissing you off. I don't care if you disagree. It's a catch 22. We will not get on that even footing until that happens. I want you to understand this. Breakout actors, right, that are making this happen now. Oscar Isaac, Pedro Pascal. Well, Pedro's from Chile, but he's reared here. Okay. Oscar's from Florida. It is paramount that these roles um are done by these actors. JD Prado, Danny Ramirez, Raul Castillo from Texas is another amazing actor. Create more, create the male lead for the US Latino actor. And it's just the same. It's just then everyone's on a vaulted level. And that's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. Because this has bugged me for so long. And yes, I love Banderas. Yes, I love Javier Bardem. Go down the line, but I want that same vaulted level. How we portray, wow, Antonio. Wow, JD Prado. Wow, Raul Castillo. Wow, Danny Ramirez. That's gotta happen. That's gotta happen now. And Banderas in these tonterías that he's saying only throws us back decades. It's bullshit, guys. It's bullshit. What do you think? Let me know. All right, wherever you guys are at, keep your slant muy fuerte. Gracias. Paz.